Alright, let's see what we got here. Come on, give me something good, give me something good. Efficiency 4. I can get efficiency 4 somewhere else. What's this? Efficiency. Yeah, let's try it. Not what I was hoping for. Come on, Silk Touch! That's the same thing I got last time. Alright, it's gotta be Silk Touch. Give me a Silk Touch. I'll take Fortune 3, but give me Silk Touch. Come on, give me something good, Are you kidding me? So I have Efficiency 4. I'm breaking 3. I'm breaking 3. Efficiency 4. And I'm breaking 3. Efficiency 4. It's okay. I'm calm. I know exactly what to do in this situation. It's not a problem. We can fix this. Uh-oh, better get the water. Hey, welcome back. We are going to have a fun episode today, whether my enchantment table knows it or not. We are going to let our iron workers go free. They have fulfilled their contractual obligations, and now it is time to pay up. We're going to change this mountaintop into a place where they can run around and have a good time, maybe make some friends. And I've heard through the grapevine that one of them is into horseback riding. But Max D, what do you know about raising horses? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But since when has that ever stopped me from charging forward? Reality? Consequences? I scoff at those big words. So yeah, we're going to have some fun today. We're going to build ourselves a horse barn and a bunch of other stuff. You guys ready? One of the first things I discovered when researching barns was that most old barns were the color red. And this is because farmers, being frugal as they are, apparently for centuries, they made their own paint. And they did this with linseed oil and rust. And rust is what gave it the reddish color. Alright, so let's hop over to creative for a minute. And if we gotta make the barn red, what are my choices? Well, mangrove's kind of red, right? Got a little bit of texture to it. Not so bad. What else is? We got red terracotta. That's got a little more subtle texture to it. And it's kind of reddish, right? Kind of rust colorish. That's a possibility. And then we got red concrete. That's just hideous. Nobody could build anything out of that, could they? Challenge accepted. All right, so we're gonna need some red concrete. You know what that means? Let's gather some resources. Well, we've got a bunch of supplies in this chest, and we've got a bunch of supplies in this chest. I'm pretty sure I have forgotten something. What do you think, Mr. Glue? Did I forget something? Yeah, all right. That's my bed. You just walked on my bed. Ugh. I am ready to start building. Oh, but before I do, there is someone I need to check on. Little Frank! Little Frank! Anybody seen Little Frank? Huh. Let's see. No munchkins in here. No munchkins in here. Huh. He didn't get up past through here, did he? Excuse me, sir. Have you seen Little Frank? Little Frank. Yeah, he's well, he's got a brown robe just like you and got a big nose and goes, huh. Yeah, you know what? I'll check back with you. Excuse me, sir. I'm looking for a little munchkin. You haven't seen one. Yeah, he was here earlier, but I can't seem to find him. Excuse me, I'm looking for a little munchkin. Yeah. Ah! Who did? Oh, little Frank! How did you? Oh my goodness, Frank, you're huge. And you're leaving. Don't get mad at me. I had work to do. Oh, little Frank, it is good to see you. Look at you, all big and growing up. You got a job and everything. Oh, that's so awesome. Well done, sir. Well done. Ah, they grow up so fast, don't they? Seems like it was just 20 minutes ago and he was a little munchkin. I mean, like, literally 20 minutes ago. Ah, enough goofing around. Let's raise a barn. Well, there it is. It's bright. It's red. Let's take a look at it. All in all, I'm not disappointed. I mean, it was going to be a challenge to work with it just because of the color and because of, you know, the lack of texture, but I'm not too bad with it. I think it's got just enough detail to make it work. I didn't put any gradients in whatsoever, and I know that just makes some people cringe, but there's a reason for that. The more I looked at the different designs that were out there, the more I saw a lot of these guys just weren't adding a whole lot of detail to the outside. And I can't help but wonder if it isn't because the priority for these horse owners is the actual horses themselves. Now, that's not to say they don't like nicer buildings, but I think the focus of their attention is what is on the inside. And what is on the inside? Well, let's take a look. Da-da-da-da. Look at this. Wow. That's a beauty. So, total disclosure, I don't raise horses. I do live off-grid and raise different animals in real life, but I've never raised horses on account of, you know, they eat a lot of food. But I did do a fair amount of research trying to get a general idea of what is necessary and what is good. But we all know there's a difference between reading and doing. So if I'm way off, just leave a comment. Because I don't know, and I would really like some input as to see how close I got. Let's start with a couple of features. The first one is this center walkway. It seems to be this way in almost every design I could find. Everybody's got a clean sort of concrete walkway that goes right down the middle. Now, where I differed from a lot of the designs is I switched to actual dirt in here. And the reason I did that was I don't know how long the horses are in here. And if they're in here for an extended period of time, I would imagine having a little bit of give in like a dirt floor is going to be easier on their joints. Now, I recognize that they have shoes and all that jazz, but it just seems to me like it would be easier for them long term if there was a little bit of give in the floor. Another thing that I did differently than a lot of these designs I saw online was this door back here. This door is meant so that I can push all the waste out through and have it in a collection pit out back. The reason I did that is because I'm not really fond of carrying waste around. I am very familiar with that process, having animals. So the easier I can make it on myself, the better. Of course, the horses are going to need water to drink, and they're going to need food to eat. Now, this is lifted up off the ground because I can tell you when hay comes in contact with, the moisture of the ground, they start to decompose really, really quickly. And there's also, the possibility for mold and whatnot. So it's just better all the way around if you intend to use this for feed to keep it up off the ground. Another thing I did differently was these 3 high walls. And the reason I did that is because if you've got a male in one side and a female on the other side, the male could very well do everything short of killing himself to get to her. That's not to say they can't smell each other, but if they can see each other, that changes the dynamics. Another thing that was intentional was this skylight right here. Originally it was a little wider, but I was worried that it would be too much sunlight. The animals need to be able to get out of direct sunlight at least a little bit. But the purpose of them was to bring sunlight in, and sunlight is actually a really good disinfectant. There will be waste here on the floor, in between cleanings. So the presence of sunlight is going to help keep these animals healthy. At least that's the idea, anyhow. I added a little loft up here, and quite often they'll use it specifically for just storing hay, but in this particular instance, I thought it would be a good idea to have something where a person could sleep while they're waiting for a foal to be born. Mother Nature tends to keep her own schedule, which isn't always the most convenient, so having a place where you're close by and can still sleep while you're waiting for the newborn, I thought that would be a good idea. It would be something that I would want to add if I was building a barn. And of course, we've got a little bit of hay stored up here out of the way where it's nice and dry. I can tell you from personal experience, it's not a problem if you just push it over the edge and let it crash onto the floor. I did spend one fall as a kid helping a farmer bale hay. That was a lot of work. It's a lot of work. 2 things that surprised me is, 1 is how dusty it was, and 2, the amount of snakes you end up dealing with. So if you're not a fan of snakes, I wouldn't recommend working for a farmer. Seeing those dangly tails come out of a bale of hay is enough to make you flip out. As for this section over here, I just kind of went on a whim. I didn't see any modern horse barns with, their own iron forge and all that stuff. So this was all me. But, I'm allowed to have fun once in a while. All right, going through our big doorway here, there's a couple of things I wanted to point out. And one is you will not find any flowers in this design, and I did that on purpose. Flowers tend to attract these guys right here, and I don't want to have an animal in a position where it can't get away and there was a hive that got disturbed. Also, we have this raised section across the top. This allows the hot air that's inside to raise up. And then with these slotted windows down here and the slotted windows up there, what happens is that the cooler air comes in at ground level and then pushes the hot air out the top. So it helps control the temperature while also providing really good ventilation, which is necessary when you have so many road apples inside. And speaking of road apples, this is where they would be pushed out and collected. Now this was my idea. Animal manure can make really great fertilizer, and since these guys take so much food, having fertilizer to help grow that food is not such a bad idea. Now, one of the things I wanted to point out was this center section right here, these little dividers. I've got them in all of them. In some animals, disease can transfer from waste to waste. So if you have an animal that's sick, you can treat their waste differently as opposed to putting them all together in one pile where, the disease can grow. Also, with regards to waste, I extended this little business right here simply because I did not want the water, hypothetical water, coming off of the roof and going into here and then washing all that waste into the ground. I want to collect it and get it out of here as opposed to having pools of wet, mucky stuff, especially so close to my horses. So that's it. That's the amateurs never owned a horse before guide to building a practical horse barn. Let me know in the comments what you would have done differently. And now to promote my other favorite addiction, A Righteous Fury. Available on Amazon and EPUB. Links below. Frank! Buddy. Hey, I got one for you, man. What do you call a cat that lives on the beach? A Sandy Claus. Get it? A Sandy Claus? Because it's kind of like Santa Claus and lives on the beach? Oh, come on, man. That's funny. It is funny. I gotta work on Frank's sense of humor. Alrighty, well, there's two more things I want to do before I can let my iron workers have their extended vacation. We need to make some more housing for any potential munchkins that come along, and we need to make a fence so that I don't lose them, because as I mentioned before, they have a habit of wandering off and not coming back. We are going to do something a little different for the housing. I could make, you know, the typical village house, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to do that. We are going to do a cluster of tree houses. And the reason I'm doing this is because earlier this spring, the family and I went and rented a BRB tree house down in the Ozarks, and it was amazing. I think it was in Branson. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but it was a great time. Staying in a treehouse up in the trees just added a whole element to the whole we're on vacation and having a good time. We still went to, I think there's a big amusement park down there and like a drive-through cave or cavern or something. So, you know, lots to do. It's a perfect location, but the treehouse, that really set it off. So that's what we're going to do. And I think we're going to put it right here. Give ourselves some trees and some tree houses. And yeah, we're going to do some fun stuff. You guys ready? Here we go. Remember my 2 rules for playing? Treasure the process and build it your way. And this is what we came up with. These 4 trees right here, I lifted up dirt blocks and then just bone milled 4 oak saplings. I wanted to leave the randomly generated shape just because it amuses me. I wanted to see how far we could push, you know, the natural tree generation that Minecraft has. Now, granted, I did put in a little bit of coloring, the darker on the bottom and then the lighter on the top. But these are Minecraft trees. And in all honesty, I think it looks pretty sharp. Not too bad. What do you think? Gonna do for a starter house? Do for a munchkin anyhow. So let's make a few more. We got 3 houses. We got 3 houses. Got a big tree back there. Working on another big tree over here. Not too bad. Just got to build a fence, put some more trees in, maybe a pathway, and we need to get our iron workers on their vacation. Grind, and more grind. As you could see, we have done some more grinding. We have a little bit of a fence going around this back part here. We've got some trees for the border. We've got some weeds growing against the fence. It is coming along. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm kind of thinking we could use a few more houses. Yes, I know I'm getting distracted here, but bear with me for a second. If I took what I've got right here, like these three tree houses, and I added maybe two more over here, like one over here and one right here, and then brought this wall around so it kind of formed a giant circle, I think we would have something kind of neat. We could leave this area in the center open, but then cut a hole through here so that they would have a pathway down to the bell. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Dun, 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 dun. And they're even big trees, huh? I don't know about that little loop-de-doo over there, but adds character, you know. Little different, little odd. I like it. I like it. Do not conform sort of thing, you know? So now I'm really gonna get the fence up and let my iron workers out. I will. I won't get distracted again. Okay, so maybe now I'll get busy and you know, make a fence. Maybe. Gentlemen, let me be the first to say thank you. Thank you for your service. We have a whole lot of iron, probably more iron than we're ever going to need. Your service has been greatly appreciated. It is time to give you your freedom. Thank you again, gentlemen. I really, really appreciate it. I see the little green particle effects. Enjoy your well-deserved vacation. Look at that. All hanging out around the bell. Hello, fellas. Let me throw you some party bread. Ah, there we go. Let's celebrate. So, I'm standing here next to Subscribe Street. You know, it runs parallel to Desperation Avenue. And I have to say, we have done a lot this episode. Originally, I was just gonna do a barn, but then I kind of got carried away. I mean, I'm all about treasuring the process, but I think I got lost along the way on that one. Hey, what am I doing? I can't be standing here saying this. I'm in the wrong spot. Yeah, that's much better. Well, we got a lot done this episode. We got a barn built, we got a tree village set up, we did a raid. It was a good time. Time well spent, anyhow. We've still got a ton of detailing to do, but I think I've pushed it far enough for this episode. The view here from Progress Rock hasn't changed a whole lot on account of all my efforts been over here. Maybe we should do something about that next episode. Let's put some shops in. What do you think? That sound like fun? Remember, guys, treasure the process and build it your way. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.